when you going through that, how is that impacting you during that time? Because I think you're 7 to 13.
You better do your damn homework, Shannon Shaw.
And the impact that it's had on you and your relationship with men.
Oh. Shannon trying to be a journalist.
No.
Shannon, I throw this look at you. God damn it, you see you trying to come up, Bubba Waters, get off my brother. What impact? Wow. Remember when you said, and I don't know if you said this, so I don't want to quote it because I could be wrong.
Okay.
But someone said Shannon Sharp don't mess with black women. And
Before you go any further, can I say this?
please.
My grandmother told me something when I was a little boy. She said, boy, never chase a lie.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
Why?
And you never said that, right?
I've never said.
Okay, so that's why I said,
I got black kids.
that's what I said. I said, them babies black.
Yes.
They not confusing.
Yes.
We ain't trying to see if she Latin or Dominican. They black. They mama got black. Everybody that Shannon messed with was black.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Black. Okay? So there's this thing with us that you can't tell us nothing. And oftentimes when a black woman's been traumatized, she's guarded. Now you take a black woman that's been traumatized and now she got a little bit of money. And you take black men, some of them, that is impressed with the money. So I can say to you what I want to. Not being totally disrespectful, but you know who's running this.
Yeah.
You know how we do this. I've always had an aggressive personality.
Yes.
I have always jumped with, if I think you trying to violate. So to say what did that do to me, it made me like this. And it made me say, I'll get you before you can get me. Because I know what it's like to not be in control of what you're taking from me.
Right.
I know what it's like to be in a position where there's nothing I can do, right? So when it came to men, baby, listen, I had my share, okay? I'm not saying I was no whore, but I was close. Hey, come on now, Shannon, get back to me. Now get back to me and call me later. Call me later, Shannon. Call me later, baby. Come on.
Lord have mercy.
Because you a football player with a lot of money. When you go into a city and you was in your prime, you had your pick. It's no different for a woman. When I went into a city, everybody wanted to be Professor Ogilvy. Hey, and I would pick him. Okay, you look like you could be.
But see, here's the thing. Now, Mo, all of a sudden, you being this fat black woman, it ain't a problem. Because I remember you said it was.
Well, let me say this.
First.
It wasn't never a problem with me being a fat black woman, because real black men, they like them in all shapes and sizes, all complexions. It is these new Negroes that get into, she gotta be this way, she gotta be that way. But real black men, if you can bake a pound cake naked, what y'all talking about? What you talking about? But what it did, though, was, and this is why I feel the way I feel about my husband.
Okay.
I remember him saying to me one night, because when we first got together, I was a handful, Shannon. And that's when I was really sick in the way that I thought.
Right.
And he said, check this out. You've used your brother molesting you as a crutch for your bad behavior.
Oh.
He said, and I won't allow that. He said, when you was a little girl, there was nothing you can do about it. But now as a grown woman, every choice and decision you make, it is yours. And I will not allow you to keep on saying, because of my brother. Because at what point do you take accountability for you? Baby, that grew me up, and that grew my ass up that night so fast, because I wanted to hear what my psychiatrist was saying to me. I understand. My husband was like, check this out. Check this out. You are in control of you. Every choice and decision you make, every one you lay down with, that was your choice. You've never come back to me and said you were raped. As a grown woman, you've never said that. So Stop holding on to that crutch. Stop holding on to that victim. Because this happened to me. I'm mad for days, and I come up out of that. And when I went to the psychiatrist, right? Everything my husband said to me, the psychiatrist said to me. But he said, I needed you to go to somebody that had no dog in the fight. Because I didn't want you to think I was judging you. I didn't want you to think that because I know the history, I'm pointing my finger. So when I would go to that psychiatrist, Dr. Cassandra Wanzo, she's incredible. Y'all want to know about red bottom shoes? Let me tell you somebody that's going to get your mind right. Dr. Cassandra Wanzo, this woman was incredible. But every time I would go to session, everything she said, my husband had already told me. So me and men, I had to come to grips with that. I had to come to grips with being an insecure fat girl. And I had to come to grips with my sister telling me, ain't no man gonna ever really want you because you're fat. I had to come to grips with my father was like, listen, I'm here, but I'm really not. I had to come to grips with those things. So my way of coming to grips with those things was now I'm a boss. I'm independent and I'm empowered. Don't you know I run this? See, I too went to the Oprah Winfrey University of Empowerment. And you don't need a man to make it.
Right.
I signed up.
Right.
And I was at the top of the class till I realized I was going to bed empty. I was going to bed with nothing but stuff. I did not want to be the poor little rich girl who have everything but nothing at all. Don't that sound familiar? I did not want to be that, Shannon. So even for the men that I was with, right?
You weren't with them.
I wasn't?
No.
Okay, talk to me, Shannon. Let that liquor use you.
That was
I
just
wasn't with them.
That was just a body for the lonely.
Liquor makes shit sound good, won't it? Liquor will make you not sound like a whore. It was just a body for the lonely. Let me tell you what my husband told me, right? Because I was in tears. I'm like, I was a whore. I was crying. Because when you come to grips with it, when you realize when you realize what you've done and you got to come to grips with it, and now I'm sitting in front of the greatest person I've ever met, and I gotta say, I have been with this many. And my husband looked at me and said, Mama, you ain't no whore, you just had friendly pussy. Didn't he make it right? That's all I had was friendly pussy. So for you whores out there,
That ain't what it is.
friendly pussy.
Right.
That's what he told me, Shannon. He made it right.
So did you ever have a good relationship with your father?
Yes. When I was a little girl.
Little.
When I was a little girl, my father could do no wrong. When I was a little girl, baby, my father would put me in that car and he would go to the cut rate store and he'd get his liquor and he'd go over Mr. Johnny's house. Now, I'm a little girl, right? He'd go over Mr. Johnny's house and him and Mr. Johnny go in the back and I could smell the reefer, but I didn't know it was reefer, right? And they smoke and they had their little drink. They come back out. I was attached to him. Me and my father started having a problem when what he was saying to me wasn't making sense.
What did he say?
And now I'm about 13.
Okay.
He was a bullshitter, but he was a good sounding bullshitter. Like, and so as a kid, you'd be like, my father know everything. But once I started growing up and I started seeing the treatment that he gave my mother, never physically abusive, but mentally, they abused one another. I won't just put it on, but once I started questioning him on just some of his decisions and choices, I became the bad person. And I went to my grandmother one time, Mimi.
Yeah.
I talk about her
you
in
have
the
a very
Netflix
close
special,
relationship with your grandmother.
right?
As did I.
And my father, this was one incident that sent me to my grandmother, bent over crying. I was trying to get a Ford Festiva, right? It was 4 gears.
Right.
Okay. It was about $2, but I didn't have the $2.
Right.
And I needed a cosigner. Right?
Yeah.
So I asked my father, please cosign for me to get this Ford Festiva. And I'm going to quote him. He said, Nikki, you won't fuck up my credit. And I'm like, well, what have I ever done to make you think I would fuck up your credit? I pay my rent on time. I'm responsible. I go to work. No. The next week, not only did he co-sign for my sister, he just signed for my sister. Like he put the car in his name. Right? I go to my grandmother and I'm like, Mimi, why would he do that? Like, she said, Nikki, every parent knows their weakest link. And every parent knows the one that's going to be okay. She said, you're going to be okay. At that point, I wiped my tears. And I'm glad he didn't co-sign. I'm glad I had to bust my ass to get it. I'm glad I had to figure it out. I'm glad he didn't just come and rescue it. I had to figure it out. So that's why right now when I sit here and you go through a decade of being blackballed or whatever, you're difficult and all that, it allowed me to keep standing. It allowed me not to go sit on a couch with Oprah Winfrey and say, I'm sorry for nothing I've ever done to you.
Right.
That's what those lessons taught me. Stand in it and stand strong, unapologetically.
You speak a lot, during this interview, you spoke a lot about curses and the trauma. How do we break that generational trauma, that curse that is in our community?
What we've said from the beginning, and that's truth. It's just the truth. We get so comfortable based off of lies that the lies become the truth. I think if we just started dealing with the truth,
Address it.
Even when it doesn't put you in a good light, it eventually does put you in a good light because then people start talking about your honor and your character and your integrity. If I've wronged you, please tell me.
Right.
Please tell me and then show me where I've wronged you. If you can say, Monique, this is what you did right here, then I owe you an apology. But if our community dealt in truth, how much further would we be? That's it. That's how I think we make it better.
Right.
We deal in the absolute truth.
But sometimes, it's kind of like when I tell people, I was explaining to someone, I said, just imagine you went to the doctor and Lord forbid this happened. You have cancer, but we're not going to treat it. It's going to go away. No doctor would tell you that. You have something going on, we're not going to talk about it. It'll just go away.
That's what they bank on. That's what they bank on. And too many of our black women have gone to their graves. They've left here in despair. They've left here broken-hearted, broke down, and we got a chance to see it in live and in person with our beautiful sister Taraji Henson.
Right.
When she had my family on her show, I tried to call you first. I tried to talk to you privately, but then you became the great, mighty Oprah Winfrey, and you were too busy to talk. Well, now I'm going to talk about it. This woman has overstepped with me in so many ways that somebody would say, if we wasn't Monique and Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment business, and we was Monique and Oprah Winfrey that worked at Costco, I see you in the break room. I see you at your cash register. Because she's overstepped.
Wow. So, I don't know, Monique. This might be the term crossing of the Rubicon. We might be going too far. If you feel that way, because clearly if you feel this way, now
Yes.
I get why you feel this way. I don't know, like I said, I don't know this. I'm taking you at your word. Now, not the Tyler, because
Yes.
I've listened to the audio.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about Oprah.
Yes.
I'm just taking you at your word.
Yes.
If you feel this way, is it possible she feels the exact same way about you?
How could she? How could she? What have I taken from Oprah? When did I have Oprah's mother and father on my show? When did I have anybody come and speak about Oprah Winfrey on the Monique show? That's never happened. So how could she feel that way?
Would you have done that?
Had her family on?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how we operate. When we had the Monique show, there was a comedian on there. And he was trying to joke T.I.'s wife, Tiny. My husband walked out in the middle of his set. He said, cut. He said, brother, we don't do that here. We uplift our folks. We don't play that. So no, I would not have done that. When Oprah Winfrey had my family, and I'll tell y'all, and I'm looking around, baby, because there are people here.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't want to be rude to the people at Shay Shay's club. You got other people in the club, right? When Oprah Winfrey called me up, and she said, I got a call from your brother. And this is after I won the Oscar award, right? And your brother wants to come on the show, and he wants to apologize to you for molesting you. And he wants to tell other people how to look out for a predator.
Right.
I said, Oprah, I said, I don't want anything to do with that cat. I said, and then she said, well, if you want me to scratch the show, I will scratch it. I said, sis, don't scratch it because he could be a different person. And I don't want to get in the way if that cat is a different person. I just don't want no parts of it.
Right.
Okay? When I hung up that phone, Shannon, I was like, I appreciate that, sister. Like, she didn't have to call me.
She didn't?
She didn't have to call me and say, I'm going to have your brother.
Right.
I start seeing commercials with my mother and my father and my other brother, who used to be my manager, who knew the fear that I had with the brother that was up on stage, right? We never talked about my mother being there.
She never told you that.
You know how you feel about your grandparents?
Yes, absolutely.
You know the honor and how you speak about them?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you then seeing your granddaddy and your grandmama on a show, and they're talking about somebody that violated you, and that woman didn't tell you that they were going to be there. How would you feel?
I would feel like you felt betrayed.
That is exactly how I felt and how I feel. And it's not, oh, I'm in a, no, I understand it. But you betrayed me, sister. And I'm not the only one.
Because at the time when she called you, she said it was just your brother.
Just my brother. And when my mother was on that show, do you know what I had to deal with, Shannon?
What's that?
I would be in the store, and I would have elderly women coming up to me, and they would say, your mama ain't shit.
Wow.
Now, they wasn't lying, Shannon, okay? They wasn't lying, baby. Sometimes you gotta let the truth be the goddamn truth. Sometimes you got to just go with it, but still, it's my mother.
It's your mom.
And I'm in here, and because when she went, I'm having to defend something, and I got that often with them telling me what my mother wasn't, because you did not tell me. Had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mama, I'd have said, shut that shit down.
it.
I don't need nobody seeing my mama be greedy. I don't need the world seeing. Shut it down. Now there's a white woman named Barbara Walters.
Mm-hmm.
They called her first. And she said, Monique, I told your family, I can't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. You just won that award. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah, you're here. Why would I bring something that I know that you don't want to talk about? You lived it. Why do I need to replay it again?
Ask her. Your camera right there.
I was trying to.
I know, baby, but ask her. See, this is where it gets juicy, right?
Yeah.
Because you're saying the right things,
Yes.
but you're asking me questions that I can't answer.
Right.
I can't answer why Oprah Winfrey did what Oprah Winfrey did.
Yeah.
Only Oprah Winfrey can answer for her actions.
Yes.
So again, stop being scared.
No,
I knew that would get him, Mom Mary. I knew that would pop him back in, baby. I knew that would get Uncle Shay.
But even this show, I have a producer and I give him a lot of leeway. But I've had people reach out and say, well, a family member said something and I want to come on your show and refute it. That ain't what we do here.
Right. It's like,
It ain't gonna happen.
It's almost, you don't cross that barrier.
We don't do the family thing.
You
now.
don't do the family thing.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.